When I was a child, my father used to say that Helén has a very rich inner life. And I do think that very many children has a rich inner life. And I didn't think of that as spirituality. But afterwards, when grown up, I now know that that is spirituality as well, because all those beings that was actually taking care of me, playing with me, entertaining me, they are spiritual beings, but so are we. Humans, we are spiritual beings as well.
Hello everybody, a warm welcome to Wisdom from North. I'm Jannike, and today you're going to meet the Norwegian Reiki master and Reiki master teacher and energy intuitive, Helén Løddesøl. And in this interview, she is sharing quite personal experiences from when she was young and saw other things that other people didn't. However, she suppressed this part of her, but spirituality came back to her in her 30s, where she had quite a scary experience that she's sharing about in this interview. And the way she managed to deal with all of these experiences was through Reiki. So she's going to share a bit about Reiki today. And also, if you want to learn more and have that first initiation in Reiki, you can join her masterclass in Wisdom from North membership, and you're so welcome to join us. As always, I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't done so before, and click the bell, and then you get notifications of my new videos. Now let's meet Helén. Hello, Helén. It's so nice to be here with you today. Welcome.
Thank you.
We just did a Norwegian interview, and we were talking about Reiki and how spirituality was something that kept coming back to you, even though you wanted to sort of suppress that part of you. And you also have a wonderful masterclass in Wisdom from North membership, Reiki, a tool in the art of living, where you are actually giving our members an initiation, the first initiation in a Reiki. And we might speak about Reiki today as well. However, I would love to start with your journey, because like you said, like spirituality just kept coming back to me. So I know that from early on, you had some experiences that sort of weren't normal. You saw things that others didn't see. Can you share a little bit about how it was for you to be a child?
Oh, I think I was very normal. I think that is normal as well. It's just like I remember how I got very surprised when I realized that my friends did not see or hear the same things that I saw, and that they had a different way of playing. And but that was a fun way too, so I adapted very easily to that. When I was a child, my father used to say that Helén has a very rich inner life. And I do think that very many children has a rich inner life. And I didn't think of that as spirituality. But afterwards, when grown up, I now know that that is spirituality as well. Because all those beings that was actually taking care of me, playing with me, entertaining me, they are spiritual beings, but so are we. Humans, we are spiritual beings as well. So
in a way, you were tapping into another frequency, would say, perhaps? Because why couldn't I see it when I was a child?
You were too busy singing. No, maybe that is so, that I just tapped into the frequency where they were. And maybe they came because I needed it. I don't know.
Right.
It's
And I'm curious about the beings you saw, because I really want this to be real and true, you know, because when I was little, I was so disappointed that we looked at these cartoons and Santa Claus and everything. And when I started to realize this is not true, I got so sad because I love that magical world. And then it wasn't real. That was a deep sorrow. And I think many others might recognize this feeling of, wow, is not Santa Claus real? And then when I grow up, I learned that, but elves are real. And we have, like we say, nisser in Norway, and elves and fairies. So would you say that that was what you saw?
I could say that. So I think Disney is doing a marvelous job on showing possibilities of what elves and nisser and everything can be. That resonates with me. What they have made.
Maybe Disney was tapping into
I think so.
something.
I think so.
Wow.
And you see many more very, very clever people making movies and songwriters, and how they describe things. They are tapping in.
Yeah.
They are.
So this knowledge about, you know, for instance, that dwarves are a certain kind of way, and elves are a certain kind of way. They have this personality, and so that that comes from a place.
I think so.
Yeah. Are they small or big?
You know, actually, when I was a child, it didn't matter. It was we were the same size. I felt that we were the same size. I was not playing with this little world down here. We were the same. So, but if I made myself small or they made themselves big, I don't know.
Wow.
So that was just...
And they were kind to you. It was just...
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So they just played with you. They didn't sort of teach you about life or...
No, it was just play.
Huh. That's
Just
amazing.
fun. Very safe.
Right.
And very comforting.
But then you started suppressing these experiences.
Well, yes, when I started school and got more friends, and they were busy with their things, and I joined in because that was fun too. So it just didn't become that important.
Did you stop seeing these things, or...
I had some experiences where that became a little uncomfortable, and I remember I closed down everything when I was in when I was like 14, I guess. Then I closed down the whole spiritual world. It became too complicated.
Okay.
And then I just suppressed it, and then the universe started to knock on my doors again when just before I turned 30, and I ignored it until I had one. You asked me about that in the Norwegian interview, so I guess I can have to tell it here.
You don't have to do anything, but if you want to share it.
No, but I had this experience where I was driving a car, and I was pregnant, and I had been to a friend, and we were several friends there, and on my way home, I suddenly had 3 beings jumping around in the backseat of my car, like monkeys, and that was when I realized that I have to find a tool to be able to deal with this stuff, because I cannot suppress it anymore. And
Were you threatened? No, or did you feel
no, they were just having a party in the back seat. So it was just it's hard to talk about, actually. But it was not. They were not threatening me, but I was very afraid of it because my great grandmother, she saw and heard things, and she tried to solve this by reading the Bible, being very Christian, and searching help in the church. And they told her that this is the devil, and they did. She tried very many things to get rid of it, like electroshock and a lot of things. And as I remember it, she that helped her for a while. But when she became a little older, everything came back stronger, and she turned crazy. So really crazy, and that's kind of was my, or how to say it in English, that was my big fear. That was, am I going to be crazy now? So then it became very, very important for me to find tools to be able to deal with this, to be grounded, to be in the light, to be safe, and do the good work, because this is a part of being human as well. And to deal with it is to deal with it in a way that this is not something that actually is wrong. This is a very strong part of being human. We are spiritual beings, and we have to own that. And some of us have to deal with that if we have it a little bit different than everybody else. But I'm not the only one. We are many more out there. So I'm not special. This is human.
And it's so beautiful that you're saying this is human, to normalize these things. And that's, I think, part of why I'm so interested in sharing these messages, because I have also been out of my body and seen things, and I feel like we need to normalize these things. That it's so many people who have been seeing things and seeing elves and this and that, and they don't dare talking about it because they're afraid that other people will say they are crazy or that they feel crazy. So by talking about it, then it can become the new normal. And I don't know, some years, maybe we all have this knowledge.
And for us not to give away our power in receiving it. Because it's very important to kind of, how to say that, keep your own power, to stay in your own power. So even if you meet someone or someone talks to you and say, do this, do that.
Like some spirits are guiding you, or
but
telling you
what if you don't have to give away yourself, your own power, and you don't have to do whatever you are told. You have to question that. It's just like thoughts. If you have thoughts, you just don't do everything you think. You can question your own thoughts. So to figure out what is me, what is them, who are they, and how to navigate in that, how to say, landscape. And everybody has to navigate our own landscape. And for me, Reiki has been that tool, and is that tool. And the beauty with Reiki is that Reiki meets you where you are and takes you where you're supposed to go, always going through your heart chakra, so you know that you are not going somewhere dark. You're led with love and light.
Is it easy for us to go to the dark?
For some. Depends on what you have in your luggage.
a bit back to Reiki. For those who are totally new to Reiki, how would you define it or say what it is?
Well, like I said, Reiki is a tool in the art of living, because to live is an art. To be able to live beautifully, like we want. Reiki is like a meditation through the heart chakra. So, and the heart chakra is the center of the spiritual human being, and also actually of the physical human being. And Reiki is both a method, and it's energy, frequency, and it's a tool, best tool ever.
What has Reiki done to you? It has, you told that was the tool for you, but how has your life changed because of it? Because I know you are so passionate about it. Like, I find it interesting, but I'm not like, I just noticed that this is your thing.
I think the most important thing is that everybody can use Reiki and then start working on their own healing. It is a healing tool. And I believe that we are meant to heal ourselves.
Like not having a healer, or what do you mean?
I mean, everybody can need a healer every now and then. We all need help sometimes during life, and to go and see a certified healer might be help. Like you would need a physicist, or you would need a chiropractor or acupuncture. But Reiki is a way for you to keep yourself in center of you and to access more part of you. And as a healer, I would not like anyone to just rely on me to be healed, because I cannot heal anyone that is not willing to do the work. To be healed, we have to do the work. We have to dare to open up and do what's necessary, change those patterns in ourselves that is, how to say, destructive to us, or dare to meet whatever obstacle we have in. Everything is deep inside.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like it's too deep inside. So it's hard to grasp it. I just noticed that I see the patterns in the outside world that is showing, oh, now that happened again. I thought I had been working with that. And then I know about that pattern, but how to sort of find that core of it so I can actually pull it up. Because I see it keeps happening. And I'm so aware, and we all have these different patterns. So do you have anything to say about that? When it sort of feels like it's so in the blind spot that you can't really grasp it, what the real core is.
Like, sounds very human.
Yeah.
Extremely human.
But why does the divine make it so difficult to...
I don't think it's the divine making it difficult. I think it's the human making it difficult, actually.
Okay.
Because if we are, I believe that's a pattern as well. And what about just starting to love what you are, love what you have? Not always easy to love yourself if you're pissed, for example, but that's also a part of you. But to study yourself and your own patterns and your own behaviors, how you react to things and what make you react, then you get to know yourself better. And everything is yin yang. So if we have the good side and the bad side, it's just two sides of the same thing. So we have to kind of accept both.
And really love both like the darkness and the light. Is
Yeah,
that what you
or
say?
at least accept both as part of the same thing. And we can, of course, try to behave, but if you the English word is popping out.
Do you know it in Norwegian?
No, it's more like if you try to when you try to not do something, if you think that's really bad, and you kind of want to push that away, but that is also a part of God in a way. It's we like to think that if I call it God, that then you understand that you want to be with the light, but darkness is just absence of light, so we have to include it. So as long as we try to push it away, we will be in a circle with it. It will come back and back and back and back and back.
Okay.
And as long, what we have to do is to kind of accept the existence of it, and then navigate that.
So sort of is, if I'm jealous, for instance, just as an example, I have to accept that jealousy, not trying to push it away, pretend I'm not jealous.
Figure out why you are jealous, and to see the pattern in that.
That makes
Sometimes you might have a reason to be jealous. Other times you maybe don't. So if you're jealous because you have some experiences from before, then you have to work with that. If you're jealous because you are cheated on, I think you are in your right to be jealous or mad.
Or if you're insecure, it's about my insecurities, for instance. Yeah. I'm going to jump over to something else, because I remember I talked to you about that you were channeling Ra, or that you have Ra with you. Is that still something or a being that you have around you?
They are many. So it's
Yeah, or the beings.
Yes, but they are many, and it's like, well, yes.
Is that the Ra that I talk about in the Law 1? I'm curious if you've heard that channel material.
I haven't.
No, okay.
I haven't.
Because that was so interesting that you mentioned Ra when we were talking. And Ra is a being from the Law 1 channel material that comes from Venus
Okay.
billions of years ago.
Very interesting. I have the connection I have with him is from my connection is Egypt, and I remember working with him in the temples in Egypt. So that's my. You see, it's not necessarily one answer of who they are, because they might be several, and where they're from, they might be from several places as well, and that they are big collections of beings supporting, coming through.
Are they giving you information about humanity and healing?
I'm not channeling like Lee with disease or Cryon, or it's I'm channeling more. It's in a different way. It's hard to explain. When I have a yoga class, I channel the class, and I channel the class into the healing of having all the participants in the room. And the same if I work with clients, that's when I do the channeling.
Okay.
So I'm not talking to a big audience.
Right.
I'm talking smaller groups.
So share a little bit about healing, because you've been saying that we all have different ways of releasing things, and also that you when you work, you see that we have some almost like what did you call it in?
It's threads.
Threads, yeah. And then some of them gets a bit entangled, and that's when we're stuck in certain areas. So you see that energetically. Is that what you're saying when you are working with
Yes,
clients?
that's the easiest way for me to work. That is to kind of follow the threads and to how to say it, untangle the knots that I see, and to make the flow of it's key, the flow of key, life force, energy, that to have the flow to go in a nice flow.
Yeah.
That was very strange English. Well,
So, but these things that we are struggling with in life, that can come from previous lives as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
As cell memories, we bring in things, and what we have in our cells will manifest in situations in life where we meet. It's the feelings that hold these entangled threads, the knots. What holds the knots are feelings. And to solve that, to heal that, we have to go through the feelings.
We have to
So
feel the feelings? Or
that is, or if the feeling is kind of like a little portal into the knot. And to untangle the knot, you kind of have to go through that feeling. And if you don't work with it consciously, life will give you situations where you meet those feelings. For you to be able to cry those tears you need to cry, or to, well, to have the whole experience.
But let's say life brings you a relationship that is not good for you or very hard, and you get really hurt. So you cry out those feelings, but maybe the entanglement happened when you were 3 years old. Is that what you're saying, that you are releasing that in another situation, or do we need to go back to our childhood?
Oh, that's very individual, and maybe that child needs to learn how to put up some boundaries. Maybe that is why you are in a demanding relationship.
Right.
So it's not one solution. It's always several solutions for. I mean, everyone has their things. We all have our things. It's so human.
Yeah.
But it's cool that you have several ways to work it out, not only intellectually, but also spiritually, that you can work in different ways.
Can we heal everything, and is it always something more to heal? Because it seems like sometimes all we're doing is trying to heal.
It's a very difficult question. Because we are so human, and we are here to have experiences, and we are here to learn, and we are here to thrive and be happy and have a good time, and to vibrate in a high frequency, and for us to figure out what makes me vibrate in a high frequency, what makes me happy, do more of it. What makes me laugh, of joy in my heart, do more of it. What makes me sad, do less of that.
Yeah, so you're really saying
it's
that
a balance thing.
the goal is not the goal, but that we're meant to be happy.
Make yourself a good life. Yes.
Yeah. Because often there's so much focus on the suffering and the healing.
And that's important too. But I am a believer of having a good time.
Huh.
I am. And by using Reiki, that make me in the center of who I am. That's a place where it's peace. That's a place where it's good to be. It's easy to be. And when life come and hit me, it's easier to deal with life when it hits me. If I have not done my Reiki, to say, I might be a little bit on my heels.
You can notice that.
Yes, or it's easier like if I haven't given myself Reiki for a while, and when I then give myself Reiki, I get to this place in myself where why have I not done this for so long? And I'm back in. So it's making me more happy in myself. And when I'm more happy in myself, it's easier to deal with everything on the outside of myself.
And you say that Reiki is not for everyone.
But it is for everyone.
But it is for everyone. It's so interesting. So you have the possibility to learn more about Reiki in your masterclass. Can you share a little bit about that masterclass that you have in our membership?
Yes, it's parted in two. The first part where I talk about what Reiki is, trying to say the right things in the camera, very nervous, yes. And the second part where we do this guided meditation, and where I have also give
initiation.
I have this initiation in it for you to feel what that is and see if that is something you can feel.
And there's several initiations, so this is just the first initiation that you get in this masterclass. However, I remember you said that you can't wait too long taking that second initiation, because then Reiki will move out of you after a while.
Yes, might be a little technical this, but the first initiation is what opens you to Reiki. So you may feel it in your hands, and Reiki is easy. When your hands are on your body, Reiki is on. And when you take your hands off, Reiki is off. And the first initiation opens this. But if you don't get the other initiations that we do in a seminar, it will fade out after a little while. A month, two. Depends on how much you use it, how much you need it, actually.
Okay.
And because the other initiations we do is what, anchors it in your body so that you have it for the rest of your life.
Okay.
And then you need 4 initiations.
Okay.
And that you get in a seminar.
Right. And
that's 2 days.
Okay. And I bet there are seminars all over the world that
Yes.
you can always find a Reiki practitioner. And if you're curious, you can come and join the membership and watch the class. It's a beautiful class.
Thank you.
How has Reiki changed your life? If it has.
Yes, it has, because then I have dared to go into that part in me that I was very afraid of. And now I am secure in that part in me, even if I'm not very secure in talking about it into a camera.
Yeah, because being visible has been a thing for you.
That's the thing. Struggling a little bit with that.
And that's honest and fair. And I think many of us are, because to be honest, I think many of us have past lives or parallel lives where talking about this, we're not allowed and we could actually die because of it or punished.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
think so. Like these deep triggers or fears comes from somewhere else if we haven't got any examples or reasons why it should be in this life. I think it's always a deeper reason. So,
and I always also believe that by daring to meet your fears and to start working through that will help. When I meet my fears and work through them, I help other people meeting their fears in them, working through them, because we are connected on some levels as human beings.
Yeah.
If I do my part of the job, it gets easier for other ones to do as well. So that's so when you are brave and show, others can do it as well.
Yeah, I believe so. We inspire each other. And I see, when I admire someone, I see in them what I can do also. That's something I talk a lot about, like this comparison. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm lesser than, I can say, oh, she inspires me. I have something of the same in that person that I can cultivate in me. Is there anything you want to say at the end that you just feel you want to convey?
No, thank you. It's find your tool. That's and Reiki is a nice one. Check it out.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your beautiful work.
Thank you for yours.
And thank you for watching, everybody, and much light here from Norway. Bye-bye.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, please subscribe and like the video or comment below and let me know what you think. And I would also love for you to check out my other videos on YouTube or wisdomfromnorth.com. See you in the next video.